Hello, and thank you for watching this short video. And the title is Aman Cara. What is your understanding of this beautiful Celtic word, Aman Cara? In Gaelic it's spelled A-N-A-N-C-H-A-R-A. It is a Gaelic word that translates as soul, soul friend. Aman Cara is the partner of your soul, an equal who discusses problems and shares advice with you. The ancient Celts often practiced the ritual of Aman Cara, and they still do in parts of the west of Ireland and in parts of the Hebrides of Scotland. And they do this to formalize friendships in the same way that marriage rituals formalize the bond between lovers, two soulmates. I remember back in 1967 when a young man joined the monastery as a postulant. I was just a novice, and there was an affinity with where he was at in his spiritual journey, and we got on really well. And our friendship lasted 28 years. And we were monks together. We trained as nurses together. But the order would not allow us to be in the same house together because we giggled like two schoolgirls. We were always playing games on one another, innocent games. And one day, because I was the senior novice, my dear friend, Brother Eddie, decided to represent the other novices and say, enough is enough from you. So we had to come out of the monastery building and climb a little hillock where there was two large poles, and in the center was a bell. And we always felt that whoever was going to give that a good hard tug, it would fall on them. And that was always our prayer, don't let it fall on me, because there was some wood rot. And we would ring the bell at 12 and 6 for the Angelus, a custom we nurtured in Ireland, the prayer of Mary. And as I was coming down the slope, down the back steps into the monastery, I had to go through a door, but above that door was Brother Cronin's bedroom. Well, they got permission from Cronin, and they had a bucket of water ready for me. And just as I was about to come in, I was drenched, and I could hear lots of giggling in the cloister, but nobody would own up to it. But I had a funny feeling it was my best pal, and true enough, months later it was. But over those 28 years, not many people have this, but he was a soul friend. He was someone I could share my journey with, my sadness, my sorrows, my disappointments. When I qualified as a nurse at Cromsall Hospital, I left the monastery first, and then Eddie left 6 months later with several other young monks. But over the years, we had something that was very special. It was from God. We weren't lovers, because I'd never seen my dear friend naked until I laid him out, ready for burial, on the 21st of March, 1996. And it's like yesterday. We had some wonderful moments in prayer together where we would meditate and pray the office together. But he lived in London, and then I lived, of course, in Llandudno, North Wales. We were both senior nurses. And then, of course, he went to Saudi Arabia to make a fortune because it was tax-free. But he was a very generous soul. But when he died, a light went out in my life. And that took several months to stop the crying and the feeling sorry for myself. Yes, I was happy that he was with his God. But there was no more laughter. There was lots of tears. And of course, the breakthrough I had was Prozac. That wasn't a soul friend. Indirectly, it probably was, because it introduced me to this breakthrough in the work I do today. No longer the rescuer. So my soulmate today, my Aman Cara, is of course the one whom I've betrothed my life to, the Barefoot Galilean. But within our community of Teo Franciscans, we have such wonderful characters. And I guess they're mini soul friends, mini Aman Caras, because they share so much of themselves in love. Some don't bother. Some pretend they're all okay when they're not. But they build a brick wall around them so they can't be your soul friend because they're not willing to trust you. And there's a hesitancy where you're not willing to trust them. And Aman Cara is, as I've said, a soulmate, a soul friend. And something comes out of that friendship. There's an affinity. I've seen it with some of our community who are married with their partners when they're together. There's a wonderful relationship. And they both say, I'd be lost without my soul friend. So they've found their Aman Cara, but they've also found that they can share the love of their Aman Cara with their God. And that's the beauty of living as a monastic in the online Teo community of interspiritual Franciscans. In our monastery without walls, where we live, we are so privileged because we have the freedom to choose. Whereas in the conventional monastery, yes, we had to use free will, whether we wished to stay and take the vows, but there was a lot of other pressures on you. Whereas being a member of this beautiful family, you feel a sense of belonging and a sense that you are living a fulfilled life. As a monk in the Catholic order, I never really felt fulfilled. It was like as if I was lying to my heart. It was an unfulfilled life. But now, with my brothers and sisters around me, it gives you a sense of purpose and a sense of identity. But my true Aman Cara is Brother Rob, who has been there for me through thick and thin and helped me cope with my disability, which of course the downside of Prozac was introducing me to bipolar. And he has been a true soul friend like Eddie. And he knows what I'm thinking and feeling and can preempt any eventuality. And finding an Aman Cara is a must. But you know, I found that many go through life and they've never really got a soul friend, an Aman Cara. And they have that look, that wanting look in their eyes, that they're not really happy. Understandably so, because there isn't someone in their life where they can share their innermost thoughts, hopes, fears, dreams. And I would say to you today, if you haven't got a soulmate, I'm not necessarily referring to a lover, a spiritual soulmate, an Aman Cara, then ask the Supreme Father, Mother God to lead you to one. There's probably one there right in front of you, but you can't see it, maybe because you're locked in a mindset of pain. Let me read to you the Celtic friendship prayer. In the eye of the Father who created me, in the eye of the Mother who nurtures me, in the eye of the Son who purchased me, in the eye of the Spirit who cleansed me, in friendship and affection, through thine own anointed one, O God, bestow upon us fullness in our need, love towards God, the smile of God, the wisdom of God, the grace of God, the fear of God, and the will of God, to do on the world of the three as angels and saints do in heaven, each shade and light, each day and night, each time in kindness, give thou us thy spirit. Celtic spirituality is so vibrant, and within our Franciscan community, we embrace Celtic Franciscan spirituality because of its richness, because we come to the supreme through the natural world, the soul of Francis. Namaste, Pax et Bonum. Thank you.